Hey guys, here we go into a video on Sergiy Deveryanchenko versus uh, Gennady Golovkin in what's probably going to be a pretty fun fight. Um, I have the sense that it'll be more of a street fight than a boxing match, especially after the first couple rounds. But before I get into that, I just wanted to let you guys know that I do have another video, Luke Campbell versus Lomachenko. It's round two, but I had to put it on my Patreon. Sky Sports wouldn't release it. It got picked up for content ID, and they removed the video, and they wouldn't release it because they're being dickheads. So it's on my Patreon. If you guys give me $1 on Patreon, you guys can go see it. It hasn't been taken down there yet, so I'm advertising, letting you guys know that it's there. And actually, I might wind up putting more post-fight videos on there, simply because the copyright stuff is a little different for the content ID, and that's what I get flagged a lot for is content ID, not actual like copyright stuff. But anyway, it's a problem that I've been having on my channel, and if I get too many copyright strikes, I lose my whole channel. So I got to put the videos somewhere else. But anyway, um, I'm also thinking about releasing training videos there. But anyway, I don't know. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about that. I know that that kind of sucks, but it's only $1, and I'll be putting a lot of post-fight videos there. I also, I'm also going to be, I think I'm going to be starting to go to some of the fights now. At least the ones in Vegas. Vegas, I went there a couple weeks ago. It was a lot cheaper than I thought it was going to be. And I had a lot of fun. So maybe go to the fights, do my own video recording, and whatever. But and then I can break down the fights all I want. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get into Lomachenko versus Deveryanchenko, or not Lomachenko, Golovkin versus Deveryanchenko, and let's go ahead and put it in slow mo. Now the first thing, 1 second into the fight, Deveryanchenko takes a hard step and feints him, right? Feints him and gives him a level change and says, "Hey, what do you think about this, bro?" And he doesn't really think that much, moves a little bit back, right? But again, Deveryanchenko um, coming forward. And look at this. This is really interesting, you guys. He's going forward, right? But look at how he's dipping on his right side, right? But his head never crosses to his left side. So he's kind of fighting right side dominant, um, which means that he's fighting off of the back foot, right? And that's what he's going to be doing. He's going to be looking to fight Jack Kulke off the back foot. And that winds up being a huge problem for him in the fight, because Jack Kulke winds up being a way better boxer, a way better has a way better jab than I think Deveryanchenko was expecting. Now, first scene we see with Deveryanchenko taking a step to his left, right? Or taking a head movement to his left here, right? Boom, one feint here. Now, pay attention to that because he doesn't do that very often, so it's going to be really interesting. But again, level change, keeping his weight on his back foot. And again, shows him that level change, shows him two jabs, jab to the body, and he thinks that he's going to get away with this jab because he showed him the level change here and nothing happened, right? So he's like, oh, he's not looking to counter, so I'll feint, get him out of position, throw a jab to the body. High level offense, right? Very smart, using what the information that he's gathering off of his level changes and his feints. Then some more feints right here. He tries to open him up for the hook by probing with the jab, right? He's like, hey, are you going to cross block, right? And Jack OK, he does. He falls for it, but he doesn't get hit with the hook. He doesn't react super well to the hook either, or like exaggerated reaction to it, right? He doesn't look to counter punch. He doesn't look to, he's just feeling the water too. So Deveryanchenko doesn't really get any information there. Now, good slip to the inside on the jab. That's really important. But that's something that Deveryanchenko doesn't do a lot of. Now look at Deveryanchenko coming forward with his jab, right? And what do you notice when he changes levels here, right? He shoots forward with the jab, and then he's stepping with all these punches, right? That's what we want to be focusing on now. Is we've seen that he's right side dominant. He keeps his weight on the right side. His active guard is not super high, and he doesn't slip to the outside a lot. But what we wanted to notice after that, and because of the fact that he keeps his weight on his right side here, he has to step with all of his punches because he can't get into range otherwise, right? Because he's not transferring his weight. So he doesn't have a way to pull his weight to his left side and then come back with the jab when he pulls his weight from his left side to his right side, right? Which is the natural flow that your body wants to go through. So he always has to step with his punches. Again, stepping here and getting countered. Oh, and he got countered in this last scene right here, right? Counter with the hook because he's stepping with his shots, right? And notice again, his head is on one side, right? His head is on one side, and when he walks forward, because he doesn't know, he's not transferring his weight to his front foot and slipping and being like, having a very good active guard, when he does start coming forward, he gets timed and walked into this shot super easy. And again, coming forward, weight on his back foot. Even though he looks pretty balanced there, but he walks into this jab again because he has to thrust his weight forward through his jab because he's not transitioning his weight to his front foot very well. Again, not responding super well to the jab, coming forward, and when he steps again, walking into this shot. Again, Jack Coquet, not the greatest fighter, but I was actually really impressed with his performance here. Decent setup right here. You can see that Deveryanchenko is getting, caught with a lot of jabs. So when his opponent looks to jab at him here, and I think it's off of his own timing too. You're going to watch Deveryanchenko step forward right here, and he times him, right? Because of the fact that Deveryanchenko is stepping with all of his punches, this is the same timing that he would be getting caught with a punch here if he were attacking. And then Jack Coquet sets up a good body shot here by controlling him with the lead hand first, getting him into the high guard, right? But it's not difficult to control Deveryanchenko because he's only fighting off of one motion, right? He's only fighting off of one timing of his own here, right? Here, and then attack, and attack. And Jack Coquet can see it coming from a mile away. Super easy. Again, feinting, and this is a very important part right here when we get into the next video, but feinting here to bait the attacks, and that's because of the fact that he always fights off the front foot. Now this is the second round we're in right now, so you can see that Deveryanchenko is kind of picking up on that, but still getting countered, still getting stuck on the line. But this left hook right here is very important right here, getting to the inside and then going to the body. Right, but Jack Coquet is almost off the line already, right? It's such a slow motion for Deveryanchenko. I wonder how much practice he has doing it. But again, his weight is on one side as he presses forward off of his jab, right? And he has to explode out of his guard to get any weight into it. Keeps eating more jabs. Again, right side dominant, coming forward, right side dominant. And look at how he has to transfer his weight from his front foot to his back foot by stepping, right? Telegraphing that shot. Jack Coquet is like, whoa, bro, that shot's taking so long to get to me. And almost finds time to land that left hook. Again, Jack Coquet, not the greatest fighter, right? But on most of the surface areas, or like the initial contact, he's beating Deveryanchenko. It's Deveryanchenko's follow-up that's beating him, but he's losing most of the initial contact, Deveryanchenko. Now, this is really interesting. I just wanted to show this clip in for just some high-level boxing technique. Notice Jack Coquet times him, stepping with the jab. Again, let's keep that focus, right? Deveryanchenko's right side dominant, right? And he has to explode out of his guard to get a jab out, right? So he steps with the jab, gets countered, right? And then where does Jack Coquet go from here? Because from this position, when Jack Coquet is in this position, he's extended, and the right hand can come right over the top. If Jack Coquet brings his hand back, he's not going to be bringing his hand back faster than Deveryanchenko throws his right hand. So he leaves his forearm on his head right here. Look at this. And then he controls him. And now Jack Coquet is safe from the right hand because Deveryanchenko can't put any weight into throwing that shot. Look at how off balance he is when he comes up with that shot, you guys. Look at this. Right? The weight comes, and because of the fact that Jack Coquet has his weight on him, watch Deveryanchenko's back foot now, right? Here, now the weight's on him. Look at how he gets thrown out of position when he tries to throw that right hand. Look at how off balance he is. That's because Jack Coquet is using his weight to block Deveryanchenko's weight transfer. Because you're not actually pushing off the ground when you strike, when you throw your shots. You're just transferring your weight from one leg to the other, right? And that's usually done kind of upper body-like. But when he does that, when he goes to transfer his weight comes off of his right leg, and all that weight from Koke is on him, and he's able to push him off balance and stop that attack from coming. I just wanted to point that out just like real quick. But again, it's another problem with being on your right side, right, or being right side dominant in that regard, is that your head only has one place to go. Now notice his head's down here, right, because he's not slipping to the outside, or he's not slipping to the inside, right? He's keeping all his weight on his right leg. Jack O'Kay is able to pick up on this in the next scene, feint him here, right, and then walk him into this right hand because he knows he's not slipping to the inside, right? He's only slipping to the outside. So even if he were to slip and duck that shot, he'd still be in line with the right hand. Now, this is very, very, very important for Gennady Golovkin because Gennady Golovkin looks to throw a lot of 1-2s, right? So he wants his head, he wants his opponent's head in that frame. And again, we'll talk about that later. And again, coming up, stuck on the line, his head only on one side of it all the time, and getting walked into, jab after jab after jab. Again, stepping with his punches again, because of the fact that his weight is always stuck on one side, getting countered again. And this scene right here is very, very, very important. Just watch where Deveryanchenko's head is. Right now it's on the left side, right? Doing a good job. Now it's back on the right side, right? And when he shoots this, his head stays on the right side. His head stays on the right side. He gets walked into all these punches. His head stays on the right side. His head stays on the right side. His head stays on the right side. He's in line for a right hand that entire time, all the way up until he throws that last right hand. Again, coming forward, feinting, but stepping with those shots, right? So he makes them real easy. He's very He's telegraphing the fact that he's coming forward with punches. And again, even when he throws his right hand, right, he's going to step first, right? Even though he lands that one, right? Good job. He's telegraphing it, right? And it makes it very difficult for him to land clean, hard shots. Again, stepping with that shot. He lands the body shot, but he eats the left hook. Now the question is, nice lead right hand right there from Koke. Now the question is, what happens when he does this to Golovkin and gets caught with a left hook like this and gets rocked, right? Like Jack Koke thinks he is. Goes in, boom, lands a great shot, right? And again, this whole time, Deveryanchenko's head, except for when he throws that punch right there, is on the right side again. Stuck on the right side again when he shoots this jab to the body, right? Boom, walks into this shot, and his head winds up getting stuck on the same side of the line almost the entire engagement. Boom. Boom. Again, when he throws that shot, his head is one side of the line. But anyway, some really interesting stuff from Deveryanchenko. I was really impressed with him in his fight against Toronto Johnson in the way that he was able to bait and set traps for Toronto Johnson's jab. But it looks like he doesn't have that extra gear, that extra level, right, or that extra amount of offense to make him unpredictable. Now we're going to take a look at some Golovkin-Canelo fight 2 and kind of talk about, let's put this in slow-mo too, just a little bit of slow-mo. But a great jab. Now, another problem that Canelo had when they fought, he likes to step with his punches too. As you see, when he steps with his jab here, Golovkin's able to slip off the line, get away from Canelo's jab, and land his own jab, right? Boom. Again, Canelo steps with his punches. So this is not a technique that Golovkin hasn't seen before. And on top of that, Golovkin's ready for the fight on the line with his opponent. See how he steps here and then he slips to the outside, right? And he's baiting. He's waiting for that jab to come from Canelo, and then he goes and shoots his own jab, right? But he's having a hard time timing Canelo because of the fact that even though he catches him there, again, because Canelo steps with his punches, but if we watch Canelo was always slipping to the inside and the outside, right? His weight is pretty evenly distributed here. He's also baiting shots from Golovkin as well. Well, you'll see in like other clips when we talk about it that are not necessarily in the first round. But here we go, slipping to the inside or the outside. But even when he steps with his shots again, right? Even though he's slipping to the inside here, right, and then throwing that hook, he's still stepping with that shot, and that's something that Deveryanchenko does. It's going to make it very difficult because he's seen this style before. That's going to make it very difficult for Deveryanchenko to land shots against him. Now, the difference between him and Deveryanchenko is that, well, again, Canelo or Golovkin baiting his opponent's jab here, and I think that'll be very effective against Deveryanchenko as well. But also the fact that when his opponent stays on the line, Golovkin has that lead right hand, which also looked pretty favorable against Deveryanchenko, because Deveryanchenko's head is always on one side of the line. But let's see, when are we going to get into the parts that these parts here. Now this entire clip is very, very, very important. So if you notice, when Canelo comes forward, he's going to come forward on his front foot here. He's going to slip to the outside or to the inside. See how his weight's all on his front leg right now? If the jab were coming from this position, he would have slipped that jab, right? And that's what he's looking to do as he comes forward, control the jab, time the jab, and then throw shots. But look at how he gets under the hook, or the, kind of right hook, right hand, right? And now his head is on the right side of Golovkin, but it's on his left side. He's able to throw shots and stay away from Golovkin's left hook here. Golovkin's a front foot fighter too. He doesn't always bring his weight all the way back when he throws his left hook, as you can see. So because of the positioning, the way that the positioning is, Golovkin needs to cross his head back over to his right leg in order to land a left hook onto Canelo. But he doesn't, and that's one of the reasons why Golovkin had such a hard time hitting Canelo with the left hook, is because Canelo was a right-footed fighter, right, fighting on the right foot, but he could switch to his front foot as well. And you'll see a little bit more clips here as he comes forward, getting timed there, but slipping. See how he slips to the inside? Now, the reason that Golovkin had so much trouble with Canelo is because he could slip to the inside like this and throw body shots, right? He could slip to the inside, throw overhand rights. But because of this little game that Canelo could play here, right, where he comes forward, catch the jab, control, and then fight. He could fight off that timing that Golovkin had on him by simply controlling the jab and timing it and waiting it and baiting for it. And I don't think that Deveryanchenko has the ability to do that, as well as Canelo's ability, again, to slip to the inside to threaten offense. Now, I talked about this. The reason that Deveryanchenko's attacks are so easy to see is because he throws them all off of the back foot, right? Which requires having your weight on your back foot, and then you transfer your weight into your shoulder so you can extend that jab, right? But what Canelo does is, instead of stepping and doing that, he slips to the inside, right? And then as you naturally rotate your weight back, right, back to your back foot, it gives you an opportunity in order to get your weight into your jab. And he's able to disguise his punches like this. Now, he's not only able to disguise his jab like he does here, right, and it looks like it lands on the left side of Golovkin's face, but it also allows you to disguise your left hook as well. And that's something that Deveryanchenko does not have the ability to do, because he never transfers his weight to his front foot, especially when in jabbing range. Now again, slipping to the inside. Another trick that I don't think Deveryanchenko has, that Canelo had, to make Golovkin less effective on the outside. Again, slipping to the inside and baiting the offense, right? But because Deveryanchenko likes to fight off the back foot, he's going to be in line for the right hand all the time, and in line for the jab, and not in line to set up his own jabs or bait the jabs from Golovkin. Again, because he fights off the back foot, it's going to be much, much, much more difficult for him to have that kind of success baiting shots from his opponent. Now, I think that the initial flow of the fight is going to be Golovkin kind of wrecking him with the jab until it turns into a kind of a street fight, and Sergiy is resigned to himself to say, okay, I'm not going to feint, I'm not going to probe, I'm not going to set my offense up. And Golovkin's like, okay, cool, it's street fight. We have street fight. This is boxing. This is number one. But um, and just goes in there to look, to have a really action-packed fight with him. And I think that once Golovkin has kind of taken away Deveryanchenko's tools, he's controlled him with the jab, and he starts opening up with big shots and allowing Deveryanchenko to open up with big shots, we'll have a really close fight that'll be really fun and entertaining. But I think it'll be done on Golovkin's grounds. I think he'll get to choose. I just don't think that Sergey has the ability to fight Golovkin's jab, especially because of the fact that his head is always on the right side, like I was saying, and in line for the right hand, as well as the jab. But again, coming into the jab range, but not really ever getting out of it, right? And this motion right here, you're just right in line for a right hand. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to check me out on Patreon. A lot of my post-fight videos are going to have to be there from now on, just because I don't want them to get taken down. But yeah, thanks, guys.